Hello and a very warm welcome to all. I'm Neha Bharadwaj-Alter and this is where we get you all the top stories from the world of football. From Manchester City's Premier League win to which is the most valuable football club in the world. We've got lots lined up for you, so just sit tight and relax. We begin by setting up the big game coming up this Saturday. It is a Manchester derby where City take on Manchester United in the FA Cup final at Wembley. The Blues will have a chance at the double after winning the league, while United will know this is their only shot at European football next season. And adding to their woes, United will be without the services of Harry Maguire after he was unable to recover from a muscle injury. The FA Cup final build-up could not have been more contrasting. On one hand is a finalist that has endured one of the club's worst league seasons in a generation. And on the other is a team that's riding high on their success of winning their fourth consecutive Premier League title in a row. In last year's final, the Blues beat the Red Devils 2-1 to complete the second leg of what turned out to be their historic treble. 12 months on, Manchester United have a chance at revenge as they can lift their first FA Cup in 8 years. But they will need to play the game of their lives to beat a red-hot Manchester City. There are plenty of exciting battles in this Manchester derby, but the most important could be the one between United's Bruno Fernandes versus City's Rodri. Fernandes has been United's best player this season, with 15 goals and 12 assists in all competitions. Fernandes will look to create problems for the Blues' defence, and the man who will need to be at his best to stop him is Rodri, City's defensive midfielder who's played a key role in his team's success. Off the field, there is uncertainty over Manchester United's manager Erik ten Hag's future with the club, and when he was asked about if this could be his last game in charge, he said his focus was solely on the FA Cup final.
For people who might think tomorrow could be your last game in charge, what would you say about that?
I have nothing to say. I just focusing on the job I have to do, and that is first win the game on Saturday, and then we are in the project and keep going in the project.
The United manager has overseen the club's lowest Premier League finish since 1989-1990, and a defeat at Wembley will mean no European football next season for only the second time since 1981-82, excluding the 5-year period when all English clubs were banned.
I came here to win trophies. Saturday I have the next opportunity, and we achieved this. We earned this opportunity as a team, and now we have to go for it.
For Manchester City, they could become only the third team to win the league and cup double for a third time. But they will need to put their Premier League win behind and focus on another final that their opponents will be desperate to win. Okay, in the news that's just coming in, Barcelona have sacked coach Xavi Hernandez after the Catalan Giants failed to win a trophy this season. Xavi will take charge of the team's final La Liga match on Sunday at Sevilla before departing. This is what the Barcelona president has told the press. He said Xavi Hernandez will not continue as the coach for the 2024-25 season. Former Bayern Munich and Germany coach Hansi Flick, he is heavily tipped to replace Xavi in Barcelona. In January, Xavi has said that he would leave at the end of the season, but after a run of strong form in April, he and Laporta agreed the coach would stay for the next campaign, with his contract expiring in June 2022. However, the situation quickly changed, with Spanish media reporting Laporta was angered by Xavi's comments, suggesting it was hard for the financially hamstrung club to compete with Real Madrid and the other elite European sides. For a third year in a row, Spanish champions Real Madrid have retained top spot in Forbes' list of the most valuable football teams in the world. That's right, the Le Blancos, who won the La Liga title and will now face Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League final on 1st of June at Wembley, are ahead of Premier League giants Manchester United. Real Madrid are valued at $6.6 billion, and they have generated the most revenue of any team, having won Champions League 5 out of the past 9 years. Take a look at that, 6.6 billion for Real Madrid, and the annual growth has been
incredible as well at 9%. Despite a terrible season, let's take a look at who comes in number 2 position. Despite a terrible season, Manchester United, they are sitting in the 2nd position, only 50 million behind Real Madrid, after their new billionaire owner Jim Ratcliffe purchased 27.7% of the company. So that's Manchester United. They're having a torrid season, haven't finished in the 8th position in the Premier League. And of course, if they do not win the FA Cup final tomorrow, then they'll be out of European season next year. So a lot riding on that final, but yes, they still remain on number 2 despite that. Real Madrid's old rivals, Barcelona, who have hit the headlines for huge debts and an unstable financial situation. They are the 3rd most valuable football club at 5.6 billion. In the 4th place are Liverpool, who are valued at 5.37 billion, and Premier League champions Manchester City. They are in the 5th position. Now, how does Forbes calculate all of this? Forbes uses enterprise value to rank the clubs, which assesses a company's overall worth by including its market value, debt, and liquid assets, using figures from the accounting firm Deloitte. Now, onto a fairy tale that wasn't to be. Bayer Leverkusen were not beaten in 51 games across all competitions. They were 2 games away from creating history, but Gian-Piero Gasparini's Atalanta stunned Xabi Alonso's team in the Europa League final to claim their first trophy in 61 years.
Bayer Leverkusen were heavily tipped to become the first team in European football history to win 3 major trophies without defeat by adding the Europa League and the German Cup to their Bundesliga trophy. But the Italian side, Atalanta, had other plans. They were not swayed by the spotlight on the German dream. Instead, they dominated right from the start, attacking regularly to force Leverkusen to commit one mistake after another. Atalanta's Ademola Lookman had the best night of his life as he became the first player in the history of the Europa League to score a hat-trick in the final. He began Leverkusen's destruction with the opening goal in the 12th minute. But it was his second of the night that lit up a boisterous Aviva Stadium as he nutmegged Xhaka before a perfect finish from 20 yards. Leverkusen, whose story has been filled with amazing, dramatic comebacks, could not fashion another this time. Lookman fired his third in the 76th minute to bring Leverkusen's glorious 51 games unbeaten run to an end. Atalanta coach Gian-Piero Gasparini's tactical masterclass had knocked out Premier League heavyweights Liverpool in the quarter-finals and 3-time finalists Marseille in the semi-finals of the Europa League.
Could you have imagined in your remotest, wildest dreams when you were a Charlton boy that this night would materialise for you?
Yeah, probably, yeah. Yeah. I've always had the confidence in my ability to, to create, to score goals, to help my teammates, assist them. In the past 2 years, like I said, I've been able to take my game to a new level and been able to show that on a more consistent basis.
Xabi Alonso and his team will feel the pain of losing the Europa League final, but this season has already been remarkable and they can still create history by achieving an unbeaten double by beating Kaiserslautern in the German Cup final in Berlin on Saturday.
Not from the first minute, from their goal and even a little bit before, they have been over us. And today was not. It was not in terms of attitude. It was football thing. I try to explain the defeats as well in football terms. Try to analyze that, but that doesn't change my my thoughts and my appreciation for these players. It happens. It's football. Today it was not meant to be. It wasn't our day. They were better. So we try to first defeat in the season. It will be a test how we deal with it, because we have another big thing on Saturday.
As the saying goes, all good things come to an end. Similarly, Bayer Leverkusen's unbeaten streak had to be broken at some point. But what they've already achieved this season, not only by becoming the Bundesliga champions, but the manner in which they've created this fairy tale with a young and promising Xabi Alonso guiding them, they can be very proud of their magical story.
Manchester City made history on Sunday when they were crowned English champions for the 4th time in a row, which is a record in the men's game. And in Phil Foden, once again, he was the star for the Blues as they beat West Ham to win the title. They won the treble last season, and if they win the FA Cup final, they will become the first team to do a double back-to-back.
One can argue about whether Manchester City are the best ever or should they be called the untouchables. But the fact is that no other team in the history of the Premier League have won the title 4 times in a row. It was a historic moment as Manchester City registered a 3-1 win over West Ham United on Sunday to pip rivals Arsenal on the final day of a thrilling Premier League season, sending fans into the pitch in a sea of blue. Manager Pep Guardiola has masterminded 6 Premier League wins in the past 7 seasons. In 4 of those years, City also surpassed 90 points.
We have done something unbelievable, 6 Premier Leagues in 7 years. So it's in this country, in the modern football, with the quality of the managers, the teams and everything, it's always... So the team surprised me, the organization surprised me. It's an incredible club, well organized. All departments drive each other to the next level.
Phil Foden was recently crowned the Football Writers' Player of the Year for his best ever goal-scoring season and ended any suspense after just 79 seconds. A blistering drive into the top corner to ensure there was no nervous wait for the title party to get started. Foden doubled City's lead inside 20 minutes with another cool left-footed finish from Jeremy Doku's cross for his 27th goal of the season. But there was a twist in the tale in the first half when Mohamed Kudus's outrageous bicycle kick flew high past Stefan Ortega. City swiftly restored order at the start of the second half, and it was Rodri who delivered the knockout blow to Arsenal's title hopes. Guardiola conceded he'd not imagined this kind of success for City since he took over. This team's crowning glory came last season when it won the treble of the Premier League, Champions League and FA Cup. It has won 3 League Cups over this current run of success and also reached the Champions League final in 2021. So then, can it be called the greatest English team of its time? Without doubt. But whether City can be considered the greatest English team of all time, that debate will dominate drawing room discussions among football fans for years to come.
Pep Guardiola was named Premier League Manager of the Year on Tuesday after guiding Manchester City to an unprecedented 4th successive title. The Spanish coach has won the award 4 times since joining the club in 2016. With 6 league titles to his name, he's now the 2nd most successful manager in the history of English football. Only former Manchester United manager Sir Alex Ferguson with 11 has won the award more times. Guardiola saw off competition from Mikel Arteta, Aston Villa's Unai Emery and Bournemouth's Andoni Iraola and Liverpool's Jurgen Klopp. Phil Foden has been one of the stars in this campaign for Manchester City. He was once again pivotal in the match against West Ham, scoring 2 goals to help create history, with Rio Ferdinand calling him as one of Manchester City's greats. Foden's heroics have also earned him the Premier League Player of the Season award. He's won 6 Premier League titles at the age of 23. He was voted the Premier League Player of the Season, had the best campaign of his career to help Manchester City to their 4th successive league title. He cemented his place as a great, like I always said, especially those 2 goals in the game against West Ham, which is incredible. He has 25 goals and 11 assists in all competitions. He's also become the youngest player at 23 to have won 6 Premier League trophies. Now, this is a shocking story coming from West Ham. West Ham's Lucas Paqueta. He's been charged by the Football Association for allegedly getting booked deliberately for the improper purpose of affecting the betting market. The FA charges state that Paqueta tried to influence the progress, conduct or any other aspect or occurrence in these matches by intentionally seeking to receive a card from the referee for the improper purpose of affecting the betting market in order for one or more persons to profit from betting. The 4 charges relate to a Premier League game against Leicester City in November of 2022 plus 2023 fixtures against Aston Villa and Leeds United and Bournemouth in August. Now, the 26-year-old Brazil international had been under investigation since last summer over suspicious betting patterns. Paqueta, though, has denied the charges in an Instagram post, saying he's extremely surprised and upset that the FA has decided to charge him. He said he had cooperated with every step of their investigation and provided all the information that he could. The FA statement noted that Paqueta has until 3rd of June to formally respond to the charges. This one's for all the Ronaldo fans. Portugal's 39-year-old forward Cristiano Ronaldo will play in his 6th European Championship, and veteran defender Pepe also made the cut as coach Roberto Martinez named his 26-man squad on Tuesday. Ronaldo, who scored in every Euro since his first appearance in 2004, has netted 14 goals in the final. He also scored 10 times in European qualifying matches last year. Ronaldo now plays for Saudi Pro League side Al Nassr, where he scored 42 goals and provided 13 assists in all competitions. However, Ronaldo will not be the oldest member of the squad, with Martinez also calling up Porto defender Pepe, who's turned 41 this year. 9 players from the Premier League have been called, including Ruben Dias, Diego Dalot, Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva and Diogo Jota. Gonzalo Inacio is the only sporting player in the squad. England manager Gareth Southgate named his provisional Euro 2024 squad, and forward Marcus Rashford was the most high-profile omission, and there was also no place for experienced midfielder Jordan Henderson. Several uncapped players, Liverpool duo of Curtis Jones and Gerald Quansah, Everton defender Jared Branthwaite and Crystal Palace's Adam Wharton did make the provisional list of 33. Southgate will cut his squad to 26 by the June 7th deadline. The exclusion of Rashford and former Liverpool midfielder Henderson were the big surprises, given the loyalty Southgate has shown them in their roles in previous tournament runs. Chelsea forward Raheem Sterling, he was also somebody who missed out, but his teammate Cole Palmer, he was included after a superb season. England are widely regarded as the favourites for the tournament in Germany after reaching the final of Euro 2020, and the fact that they have arguably the most talented batch of players in recent times, with the likes of Phil Foden, Jude Bellingham, Harry Kane and Bukayo Saka all enjoying sensational club season. It really makes them one of the favourites in Euro 2024. Mauricio Pochettino has left his job as Chelsea manager by mutual consent after one season in charge. Pochettino joined Chelsea ahead of the 2023-24 season when he replaced interim manager Frank Lampard, as the club's new owners Todd Bowley and Clearlake Capital look to freshen things up at Stamford Bridge after finishing 12th in the previous campaign. Although Chelsea started the season poorly and found themselves in the bottom half of the standings despite spending more than any club in Europe, Pochettino managed to guide the London club to 6th in the Premier League standings. Speculation had been rife that the former Paris Saint-Germain and Tottenham Hotspur boss would be gone after just 1 year in charge, but Pochettino remained tight-lipped about his future when asked after their final game of the season last Sunday. Okay, now we here at TV9 love the beautiful game, and in trying to make our viewers love it too, we've started a few initiatives. The first of which is the Indian Tigers and Tigresses Talent Hunt. This is our way of getting young, talented kids, both boys and girls, to showcase their skills and get a wonderful opportunity to train in Germany and Austria. TV9, along with Bundesliga, will organize this talent hunt, where European scouts will assess the entries. The selected kids will be called to the scouting venues across India by the end of June. Top 200 contenders will then make it to the football training camp, and 20 Tigers and Tigresses, they will be selected from the camp to go to train in Austria and Germany. They will also play some friendly matches with European clubs and meet football legends in August. This is a huge opportunity for all the kids across the country who are interested in football. And like I said, this is our little initiative, a way forward, a small step in trying to get more kids to love the game. Now, that's not all. India's largest news network, TV9, we've tied up with one of the top leagues in Europe, the Bundesliga. The tie-up is to promote German football across India. And TV9, along with Bundesliga, we're committed to identifying talents and developing them with outreach efforts and strategic partnerships with schools and clubs and corporate entities. TV9, along with Bundesliga, will get you regular footballing action from Germany. There will be exclusive content which includes interviews and analysis with players, coaches. In the Bundesliga, we will also engage with Indian football fans through various initiatives on our large network. Already spoke about the Indian Tigers and Tigresses talent hunt. There is also the Corporate Cup. And this is our way of getting our viewers the best action from a footballing powerhouse like Germany. Well, that's it then on football this week. You have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye.
That ink is a semi-permanent dye called the indelible ink.
We are the sole manufacturer of this indelible ink.
Don't try to repair something which is working.
And if you have facial recognition, you can go vote in any booth anywhere based on where you are, and then it will be recorded that you can't vote anywhere else again.
Can we retire indelible ink and use biometrics? Theoretically, my answer would be yes.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
How do you fulfill that promise? Because ultimately expectations have to be met. If you look at the political landscape, is it really changing for women? And what is the inability of the forces that dead bodies surface but not the living people?
I was ready to be a CEO at 26.
Only the guys with the strongest heads can handle hard situations.
There is a blurring line between arrogance and confidence.
This is the philosophy of FC Bayern Munich.
World premiere on 25th of May, only on News 9 Live.
For the very first time in our investigation, we unmasked the killer of Ravindra Matre.
In 5G, we have to stand with the world, and in 6G, we have to lead the world.
Winning a Grammy was an absolutely surreal experience.
I don't think anybody has isolated Ajit Dada Pawar. Ajit Dada has isolated himself.
That led to a lot of bad blood between the ruling partners.
It is not true. You know it very well, who these elements are, who these individuals are. And these are the very reasons why you see a division in the party.
Now this contest between Supriya Sule and Sunetra Pawar is really a proxy war between uncle and nephew, and it's being fought in the family bastion of Baramati.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
That ink is a semi-permanent dye called the indelible ink.
We are the sole manufacturer of this indelible ink.
Don't try to repair something which is working.
And if you have facial recognition, you can go vote in any booth anywhere based on where you are, and then it will be recorded that you can't vote anywhere else again.
Can we retire indelible ink and use biometrics? Theoretically, my answer would be yes.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
How do you fulfill that promise? Because ultimately expectations have to be met. If you look at the political landscape, is it really changing for women? And what is the inability of the forces that dead bodies surface but not the living people?
America, there is an inheritance tax. In India, you don't have that.
कांग्रेस की लूट जिंदगी के साथ भी और जिंदगी के बाद भी.
Our manifesto combines ideology with effective administration with delivery that is long overdue.
Rahul Gandhi is talking about redistribution of wealth. You know, these are the things people are alert to. They want to know, what does Congress say when you say redistribute wealth?
Forever there are simultaneous election of parliament, assembly and municipality and panchayat. So that framework has to be given in the constitution. That amendment has been suggested.
Are you going to take away the power of dissolution?
I mean, it doesn't require any rocket science to do this. It's a simple constitutional amendment, and the idea is everything goes together.
The Law Commission has set the ball rolling for one nation, one election. Basically, if all goes well, then India may see simultaneous elections to Lok Sabha, state assemblies, municipalities and panchayats in 2029.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Start with the end in mind. You need to know where you want to reach. Every morning that we wake up, we are exercising our choice. The destiny is decided. The results are known that I'm going to win. Life of a goalkeeper is something which has always intrigued me. When you come into a stadium, this is the highest level of pressure. When I set out to do something, I decide in my mind that failure is not an option.
What you feel very strongly about, those are the stories to tell.
I have a mind which is absolutely restless. Mind and body are entangled sensations. That brings me back to golf. It's an amazing game.
This is not a perfect game. You only learn from them.
If you have a formula to a success, then you can replicate it.
I feel this is my first step. I'm starting now.
Winner is first born in the mind. I think, therefore I am. We are all about our mind.
World premiere every Saturday on News 9 Live at 9 p.m.
Why is the state not looking at putting an embargo on that?
As a Telangana person, I will not accept.
How do ordinary folks deal with this?
Can the Trinamool candidate from Baharampur hit the ball out of the park?
50-60 दिन बहुत ज़्यादा बोल रहा हूँ, उससे पहले ही काम दिखने स्टार्ट हो जाएंगे.
Pitted opposite Pathan in Team BJP is Dr. Nirmal Kumar Saha.
The fight is not Adit Chaudhary and Nirmal Saha. The fight between Modi versus Rahul Gandhi.
Yusuf Pathan and Nirmal Saha, two professionals who have switched to politics, are taking on Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. Can one of the first-time politicians end his winning streak?
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है